Robert Costa, I'm going to play for our audience the moment heard round the world from Meet the Press this weekend. We'll talk about it on the other side.
I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury. And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation.
Truth is truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth.
So, Robert, is that just the era we've entered where the president's lawyer can go on television and say things without consequence?
Of course, Brian, it's a bizarre statement, but putting that aside and acknowledging it for what it is, it's more revealing about how the Trump legal team feels about the Comey firing. They are uncomfortable publicly about having the president sit down for an interview with Robert Mueller to talk through the president's intent. Was it corrupt? Was it criminal? That's what the Mueller people have wanted to find out for months, and Giuliani's contesting that, already contesting Comey's version of the story that's there publicly, but Giuliani does not know the extent of what witnesses have said beyond Mr. Comey about the Comey firing and what went on inside of the White House and different things about the president's intent. And so when he says truth is truth, he's saying he doesn't want to go up against Comey's version of the story, but there are more versions of this story than just Comey.
Joyce, just as a fellow practitioner, as a fellow lawyer, when you hear an attorney use a phrase like that, your reaction?
It tells me that he knows his client doesn't have a traditional legal defense. They won't be able to offer, when Bob Mueller finally produces his report or perhaps a new batch of indictments, they won't be able to say the facts that are being alleged are untrue. It appears that that's a near certainty. And so instead, they'll have to fall back on a defense of the Mueller team is corrupt and you can't believe anything about facts. There's no longer any rational truth because it's all a he said, she said. This is really a dangerous place to be. Giuliani knows that this is not how our courts function. Our courts are uniquely suited to ferret out the difference when you have people telling these oppositional stories. That's what prosecutors do for a living. That's what Rudy Giuliani did for a living. Unfortunately, now he's just reduced to shilling for a president who may not have a leg to stand on at the end of the day.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.